Welcome to Coaching the Brave podcast with Yvonne Chase. I am Yvonne Chase, and I am here to provide you positivity and possibility, because hope and community is something that we all strive for and we all really need. So enjoy and sit back. I am so thankful that you are here another week, because what we're going to be discussing here is just so many fun people who are not only part of the military community, but who are also part of the civilian community and who have things to offer for the military. And it's not only about interviews and chatting together, but it's also about experiences of coaching and meditations and just fun little quirky things that come to mind that I just want to share with you. And I hope that they bring you a light at the end of the day to take with you to the rest of the week. And I hope you really enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, Coaching the Brave community. Today, we're going to be talking with a 18-year career Coast Guardman. He has been stationed in northern Michigan, Puerto Rico, California, Southeast Texas, and now Charleston, South Carolina. He is an E7, and his entire career has been search and rescue, port security, and migrant and drug addiction. I hope you really enjoy, because not only is he active duty, but he's also a podcaster. So you know what, people? You can dabble in so many things and still get stuff done. And I'm very inspired by Alessandro de Maio, and I hope you are too. If you do enjoy this, please share with someone who feels that they would benefit from this episode. Enjoy! How are you doing today, Alessandro?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Super hyped. I'm excited.
Me too.
I usually have so far interviewed Army and some Reserve and National Guard for the Army, but not yet Coast Guard. So yay! Congratulations, you're first.
There you go. Well, I'm glad that I'm here with you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate your time. What helped you join the Coast Guard?
So what helped me join the Coast Guard? Well, to be honest, when I joined the Coast Guard, it wasn't in the plans. I joined the Coast Guard because I need a more stable life to provide for the family, and the fast food wasn't cutting it. So I used to go to college in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, and I used to drive by the air station down there, and I found out they had a recruiting office. One day I just walked in and pretty much talked to the recruiter, took the test about a month later, and signed the delay entry program in October of 2004, and went to basic training in March of 2005. I wasn't going to do a career, but here I am.
Yep. What was the catalyst that drove you to walking into that recruiter's office?
To be honest, it was my dad. So my uncle he retired 23 years in the Army, and one of his last assignments before retiring, it was before the one that he had in Maryland. It was a recruiter in Florida. I kind of wanted to probably try the Army and stuff like that, and my dad pretty much stopped me from doing that. Nothing against the Army, but we've been in the water our entire life, and I really didn't want the Navy. And back then, I didn't know much about the Coast Guard, other than they did safety inspection on our boats because we have boats. I thought they never went to war or anything like that. Well, I was wrong on that, but that was pretty much the selling point for me from my dad. It's like, oh, you guys don't go to war, you guys part of the military. So I joined, and then I find out we actually are we go to wars, but they don't. That doesn't scare me away from it. It's just we're smaller, so very few. So I'm glad that I made that decision. Actually, it's been great.
So happy to hear that. Amazing that you were able to just dabble into possibly the Army, and then you weighed it out, pros and cons, and you said, nah, let's go with this one. We weighed that pros and cons out too, and then it ended up being beneficial for you.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. I'll
Right.
be lying if it was easy. There's been a lot more lows and highs, but it's just like any other job, I tell people.
And how would you explain that to other service members that are Coast Guards too, the highs and the lows.
But right now, I've been in 18 years. And I'm one of the so pretty much I'm one of the senior enlisted members in the Coast Guard. Being an E7 now, and the way to explain it is like when I get these new recruits or new members after boot camp, I tell them it's like, hey, just treat it like any other job. This is just like any other job. Then don't think because it's military or law enforcement or something, because we do both things. We do law enforcement and military operations. I tell them, but this is just like any other job. Only that you got to follow some military bearing, and that's about it. And our rank structures, just treat me like your normal supervisor at any other job. And you can't call me by my first name, but that's about it. But the selling point right now for any military branch is, we have a lot of benefits, not so much on the pension side anymore because they took that away, with the blended retirement system. So it's kind of hard.
Yes.
It's really hard right now to sell it to the new guys that, they don't make enough for when they're first joined. But the way that I sell it is like, hey, medical benefits. We have one of the best medical benefits out there,
Mhm.
and you're not like a medical benefit like the one that we have. It'll cost you thousands of dollars a month, and you're not paying a single dime for you. And then if you get married or anything like that, or you got kids, you'll be paying a lot of money. So don't take it as a pension. Just save money for that, for your 401k. TSP. So, and if you're going to make it a career, just take advantage of it.
Love that. Love that you kind of broke it down too. It's not just a general military, it's treat it like a regular civilian job too. It's just a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit more
that's what I tell them.
benefits.
And also the education, because I'm going to college and I'm finishing on my bachelor's degree too. So it's like
Nice.
education benefits, for tuition assistance and all that. It's just they got to look at the people now tend to look at the negatives
Mm-hmm.
a lot, and maybe that's society or whatever they're growing. They didn't grow our way, pretty much. I'm an '80s baby, so
Yeah.
it's very different now than before. So it's like they look at the negative more than the positive, and it's very easy to complain.
Oh yeah. Super easy. Too easy.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you bring that to the table, especially as a supervisor. You're there to be that light for them, that guidance.
Yeah, the other services, they don't know much about the Coast Guard.
Yeah, it's true.
We're very close, but our rank and our rates, or MOS like they call it on the other services, it's the same as the Navy, but
Okay.
we have smaller rates, like amount wise of rates. It's less than the Navy because what takes three rates in the Navy to do, we combine into one.
Wow.
But like my rate is a bosun's mate, but I'm also a quartermaster. But I'm also, I also do law enforcement, and I'm also a navigator. I also drive boats. I also drive ships. Also, in the Navy, they just do maintenance and painting, and that's it.
Okay.
From as far as I know. But I tell my guys, it's like whenever you come into the Coast Guard as an E4, you're going to be put into positions and leadership roles that an E6 in the Navy has, and it's just the nature of the beast of how small we are.
Oh my gosh. That makes so much sense too. You
Yeah,
have to have many roles in order to get the job done.
correct. Yeah, as an E4, when I first joined as an E4, I was put in as a section leader. I was in charge of E5s as a
Wow.
section leader, and and when I made, we call it coxswain, is the basic coxswain is pretty much a boat operator. I was in charge of a $3.5 million boat
Yeah.
as an E4. So it's the 47-foot motor lifeboats, the ones that go in the waves and jump waves and stuff like that.
Okay.
So those are that. It's the type of responsibility that I was in for. I was only in for 2 years,
Oh my goodness.
and so Northern Michigan.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first unit.
Northern Michigan.
I got sent from Puerto Rico straight to Michigan, straight to
Oh my
northern Michigan,
goodness.
the Great Lakes. Yeah, I was like 15 miles from Canada.
Cold.
Oh yeah, it was a shock, and that was my first time seeing snow too. So,
Oh my goodness. And you said that you had to take care of family and that's the reason why you joined. Tell me a little bit about that. What does your
well,
family
I
think?
had so I had my oldest. I was 19, so I really needed money. I'll be lying if I said, "Oh, I did it because I wanted to be in the Coast Guard." No, I did it because I needed money, and I was working back in the day in Burger King.
Yeah.
and $300 a week wasn't cutting it. I had a house. I still have the house in the west coast of Puerto Rico, and that drove me into it. I was a little scared because my first language is Spanish, and I had a hard time talking English back then. And I have cousins that are half American, half Puerto Rican. So I kind of knew a little bit, and when I was going through school from elementary to middle school, I went to a private Catholic school, so they taught a little bit of English. But then I graduated from public system, and might as well just not English. Yeah, it's a requirement down there for our entire school from first to 12th grade, but the teachers most of the time, for my experience, they were teaching us in Spanish. So it's not like we were learning English.
Yeah.
So and that's what I joined. That's why I joined. Just to take care of the family, pretty much.
Yeah, take care of your kiddo.
Yeah. Now I got 3 kids. He's a junior. He's starting junior in college next year. So.
Oh my gosh! Congrats.
And I just got a newly high schooler. My daughter got promoted yesterday from middle school, and then I got my youngest that's going to 7th grade next year. So yeah.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that must be such an honor to see that happening. And
It's busy.
yeah, I bet. Well, I'm Hispanic too. My dad is half Puerto Rican and half Guatemalan, and then my mom was raised and born in DR, Dominican Republic.
Yep.
Yeah, so I know a little bit of Spanish. Well, I know Spanish, and then I don't speak it as well, but I understand 100% of it.
It's just practice.
I know it is. It really is.
I'm half Italian, half Puerto Rican. So
okay.
I knew Italian, but I haven't practiced it in like over 20 years. But I can understand it. Like it's kind of weird, like how our brains work sometimes. It's like you can't like express yourself, but you understand everything. It's like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and then you stutter, right, when you're trying to say the word. It's like, I know what I want to say, but I can't do it.
my language is all screwed up right now because I stutter even when I try to speak Spanish. So.
But you barely have an accent for English, so you did amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You did a great job. Yeah.
The guys that work for me, they know when I get pissed off, so my accent comes out.
Yeah, I see that. It's always when you go back home too, and it comes back. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and then whenever they listen to me talking to my best friend on the phone, they're like, "Man, you're talking too fast. I know Spanish, but I don't know that kind of Spanish." It's like it's Puerto Rican. Don't worry.
Right, dialect is definitely different.
It's very different.
Awesome. Well, how does your family? How did they allocate to the military? Did you take them with you when you moved to Michigan?
So I went to Michigan by myself for the first. So I went to boot camp and then came back to Puerto Rico for like 9 days leave, and then went back up. My wife was she was studying in a trade school for banking, financing. So she stayed in Puerto Rico with my oldest for about 4 months, and then she came up to Michigan in August because I reported to my new unit in May of 05, and then she came up. And the moving hasn't been as tough. It hasn't been bad because they were young. Because I went from Michigan back to Puerto Rico, and then from Puerto Rico to California.
Oh wow!
And then from California, I went to Texas, and Texas was the hardest move because they were already older. That was in 2018, and so my youngest, he was in elementary. My daughter as well, and then my oldest, he was in middle school going into high school.
Oh yeah.
So when I got the ship in Charleston, where I'm at right now in South Carolina, I told him, it's like, I promise you're going to finish high school here. I'll bite the bullet and extend 1 year on the ship that I'm at because it's usually 3-year billet, but I extended for 4 years, and he finished high school even though that I told him, so you're going to finish in the same high school. He didn't finish in the same high school because we started in one high school and then we bought a house, so we moved counties. So he went to a different high school, and then he applied for a program for dual enrollment to take college courses, and they only take like 25% of the applicants, and he got picked up and he graduated from that.
Oh, wow.
So he graduated high school technically a year earlier, but he kept taking college courses. So right now he's technically going to junior, but he's actually in his 3rd year of college.
Yeah, amazing.
So, but they've done good this time because I'm still in the same place because so I made rank, and then I was able to stay here where I'm at right now because I there's a new ship that Coast Guard is building, and I'm part of the new crew for that ship. So it went from one class of ship to the same class of ship that is getting built. So that's one way that I stayed here. If not, I was just gonna geo bachelor and move because my wife has a good job here. My oldest was starting college and he's local. My youngest didn't want to move. He freaked out when I told him that we might have to move. And then my daughter, she said, I don't want to move anymore. Like, okay, well, then I was just saying, and her and my wife are the ones that I always want to move. I didn't want to move anymore. I'm tired of moving.
Yeah.
Like my oldest has never been in the same school more than 2 years throughout my career. So
I mean, it's rough, but look at his success. My gosh, he's already progressing so much.
yeah, looking forward for retirement.
Yeah. What are your plans after?
I say that now, but I don't know. Well, right now, I'm eligible for retirement in October of 2025, to keep my E7 pension. But if the things align good, I'll push it to another 4-year billet after 2025, and it'll be a land job. I'm trying to land one job here in Charleston where I'm at. So and then that'll be my twilight tour. That'll be it. That'll definitely be it.
We'll speak that into existence for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome. So what has been a big struggle? You know, you mentioned the moving. If there was anything that was a bigger struggle, what would that have been in your career so far?
The biggest struggle is so since I moved to different areas, getting used to the area. But the biggest thing professionally for me, like when I move, I have to pretty much start from zero every time because the qualifications that I have, they stop being qualified. So the certification, because I'm qualified. Once I gain a certification, I maintain my qualification, but I have to, like they say, a recertification every time I go to a new unit. So it's like starting from zero. It's like a nonstop studying. That's professionally.
Wow.
And gaining the trust of the officer in charge or the commanding officer, to do pretty much my job. But that has been like the biggest struggle because it helps me keep up with the policies and the regulations, and it's just tiring.
Yeah.
To have to study like the same thing like every 3-4 years. For my family, they adapt pretty quickly. They hardly feel the move. But right now, the biggest struggle right now is so I was on a ship for 4 years that I was fully operational, and people tell me, "Oh, you've been in Charleston. How like have you I've heard good things about Charleston." I'm like, well, I haven't been able to enjoy it because COVID, and then I've been gone pretty much 2 years out of the 4 years here.
Wow.
So my deployments are between 2 to 3 months, and then we're in port for 2 to 3 months, and then we get underway again, and so that's how it's been. And right now it's like I haven't been gone for the past year, no, since July. So, but
Oh yeah.
it's just getting used to. Now it's just getting used to being here. Now I'm used to being here, and then here soon I have to go get the new ship. So that's going to be another struggle. It's just the constant coming and going, and I'm a little bit harder to. I take it a little bit harder than my family when I deploy, but just getting used to it.
Yeah. How so do you take it harder?
I kind of don't like to leave them alone. I got like a little bit of separation anxiety.
Yeah.
So that's the part that it's like it's a little bit hard. But once I get ready mentally, I'm fine. It's just it gets a little bit hard.
Yeah. Do you talk with your other coasties about that too, or that's something that you just keep to yourself?
No, I tell them. The worst part is it's getting ready.
Yeah.
The lead off, it's the countdown. That's the part that it just sucks. It's gotten a lot easier. The first deployment was hard. I did 8 deployments on that other ship.
Oh.
But the communication when you're out at sea has gotten better, so it's not as hard for me. For my wife, it's hard because she's like, well, you're gone, but just be gone. Just stay gone.
Like don't micromanage kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a bit. I have issues. Like I like to. If I'm not in control, I have issues letting it go.
Got
But that's, I think
it.
that's a military thing in me. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
not
biggest
only you.
struggle. Yeah,
I know my husband too. I think it's hard
yeah.
for
That's
him as well to kind of let go, and he has
it's
that
really hard.
anxiety too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have anxiety and I'm always on the, uh, leaving on the edge just because of things that has happened at work and all that with my mission. So it's like, yeah, it's just sometimes hard with that.
Wow. Well, I thank you so much for expressing that here on the podcast because that really helps others to really listen in and relate to that as well. So, what has been something that has been enlightening for you in your career and for your family?
Well, my family's been pretty much part of all the success and not so much success in my career. So just bringing them along, that's been like pretty much the plus. So yeah, it's just my wife understands the Coast Guard like the back of her hand, probably better than me.
Nice.
She's heavily engaged with the Coast Guard and my ship and the other families and stuff like that. So she's the unit ombudsman.
Okay.
So she takes care of the family side. She's in
Nice.
direct contact with the command. That makes it easier.
So, what does
But
the Coast Guard call it? The
ombudsman. So it's an ombudsman
Okay.
program. It's a volunteer position, but they are part of the command. So
Yeah.
they talk to the CO XO directly with any issues when we're deployed.
Okay.
They're very big advocate on the community. They don't do fundraisers, but they do different activities for the crew. Monthly activities. Like we're here in Charleston in a hurricane prone area, so now hurricane season is coming. So if they have to evacuate, they make sure that all the families are evacuating. They keep track of the families where they're at, and because we have to go.
Yeah.
Whenever we have the ship here, we have to go, and we can't keep the ship here because of the damage that could occur, and just in case that we need to respawn somewhere else. Luckily, the twice she's has to evacuate while we're here. I was already deployed, and one of those was Hurricane Dorian that hit Bahamas,
Oh, yeah.
and we sailed through Dorian to get to Bahamas, and we were the first U.S. ship to be in Bahamas to help out over there. I spent there for probably like a week and a half. So
Wow.
yeah, it's we're not only for wars and really in the hierarchy, wars is like kind of like the last thing that we do, but we're more on the search and rescue, humanitarian efforts, and all that. So and of course the migrants and drugs.
That is so enlightening, even for me to understand what the Coast Guard does too, and to have that beautiful support from your spouse with your crew.
Yeah, and that's a very minimal thing that I'm telling you about our missions. So
Right.
it's very we do a lot of things. People don't know it because we're so small. We're smaller than the New York City Police Department.
Wow.
So we're on every coast here. We're in Guam. We're in Puerto Rico. We're in Alaska. We got representatives pretty much all over the world. In Europe, Costa Rica, and Panama. Yeah, we got liaisons everywhere.
Look at that. This is so cool. Thank you so much for explaining all that. And then as for your career, you're doing so much. You're E7, you're helping out your crew, and you are also going to school, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and then you had a podcast before, and now you have a new podcast.
correct.
And I love how it segues because of what your podcast is all about. So, if you could explain a little bit about that.
So my previous podcast, pretty much, I can talk about a little bit. It was called The Nugget. It was mainly sharing information. It was more interview based,
Okay.
and it was just sharing information with any listeners that wanted to learn something new. Like I had a rescue swimmer there from the Coast Guard. I had a human geographer. I had people that got into sports. I had somebody that was entrepreneur that opened up his own business. Kind of like how to start off that. I have somebody that did acting plays like Hamilton kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it was only 10 episodes, and it kind of like I kind of like lost steam about it. So I kind of stopped doing it. I'm planning on probably bringing it back. I just gotta structure it a little bit better, just because I like the interview part, and just getting better on the interviews. I was terrible, but it's just we don't do this for the money. At least I don't do it for the money. I just do it just to share. So, but now this new podcast, it's called Davy Jones World. So Davy Jones, it's pretty much a mythological figure within the sailors and maritime industry. That they like to put names at things. So Davy Jones is it's a saying of, oh, the ships that sink and the sailors that die, they go lay rest with Davy Jones' locker. So Davy Jones' locker is pretty much the bottom of the sea.
Okay.
And that's why I call it Davy Jones' World, because Davy Jones' World is pretty much the ocean, the sea, a myth. It's a mythological, whatever people want to call it, really. But I'm going to be talking about. I'm on episode 2 that was released last Friday. That was kind of like the true first episode. I was talking about the issues with the oceans, and I dove into Seaspiracy, which is a documentary on Netflix. And kind of explain what they talk about, and how eye-opening is the damage that we're doing to the ocean. But it's not only about that. It's not something that I'm trying to like get in people's mind of like, you got to save the oceans and all that. No, it's not about that. It's about creating some sort of
awareness.
Just open the eyes of just open the eyes and ears of people of what the real problem is. But not only that, that's not the main thing of the podcast. The main thing of the podcast is going to be like, I'm going to be talking about shipwrecks. I'm going to be talking about maritime history, some knowledge, seagoing traditions that people might not be aware. Like the next episode that's coming out next Friday. I'm going to be talking about the RMS Titanics and the creation of the International Ice Patrol. It's a Coast Guard driven program, the International Ice Patrol, but there's other nations involved, and it happened right after the Titanic sunk. Also, I'm going to be talking about different notorious pirates, talking their history. It's like not every pirate was digging their prices. That was from one pirate that's called Wilton Kidd. He's the one that's why is known like why pirates like dig their treasures. Not every pirate. So yeah, things like that people might not know.
Yeah.
Like the Jolly Roger, and it's not the little ship that they have on Disney. That's not the Jolly Roger. That's actually the flag. That's called a Jolly Roger. I'm going to be talking about the history of that. I'm actually going to be going to the Outer Banks here in the next couple weeks.
That's our family vacation spot.
Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going for a family vacation, but I'm going to have an episode about the Outer Banks shipwrecks.
Ah, yes.
So because that's kind of like it's over 2,000 shipwrecks over there. And I'm going to be talking about that on one of the episodes, but I'm going to actually record it up there.
Oh,
so it's probably going to be like, I'm probably going to do it like sitting down at the pool, just hearing the background noise of the water and stuff like that, because but yeah, we're going up there during Father's Day weekend. So
nice.
I created that podcast just because there's no other podcast named after Davy Jones. There's episodes about it, but there's not an actual podcast about Davy Jones. Like Davy Jones, that's called Davy Jones World. I call it Davy Jones. I didn't call it Davy Jones Podcast because it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to call it that. So that's why it says I call it Davy Jones World, because technically the ocean and the sea is by the mariners and the seagoing and the sailors. That's it's a well-known name.
Right.
And all about everything that I'm going to be talking about is about the oceans and the seagoing. So that's why I call it that way.
That is so cool. And what got you into podcasting?
I was bored.
Love the honesty.
It was COVID. Yeah, I was
yes.
I kind of want to do something. It's like I didn't want to make money, but it's not about making money. So
right. That is so cool, and bringing all of that awareness and all those debunking of different traditions and all of that, and that's really cool. And it's very calming listening to your podcast too. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Some people say you sound so robotic. I'm like, I'm working on it.
It is. It's always a work in progress. I hear, experienced or seasoned podcasters who sound so relaxed on their podcast, but then you go to their first one and you hear it and it's like, oh, that's completely different.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. It's got its aches and pains, but I do it because it's a passion that I have, and whoever wants to listen, listen. Whoever doesn't, I'm not gonna judge you. It's just I do it because I like doing it, and it's something that I want to do. And you know what? I purchase the stuff and I purchase the equipment. And first question that I was asked, how much money do you make? I'm like, I don't do it for the money, man. Like, I think 2% of the podcasters actually make a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So if there was something empowering or supportive, something like a statement or a quote that you would give other Coast Guard families and service members, what would that be?
I got a couple of things that I tell my guys, and one of them, and it's something that I use on the Nugget. It's like keep on keeping. It's like don't, and it goes and it goes hand to hand. It's like you have to keep going no matter what. The other thing that I tell all the guys, and it's actually the ship's motto that we have now. It's like don't never give up. If you're thinking about giving up, it's you got to find that spark again. And I'm guilty of it. I tend to give up really easy, and I go back to keep on keeping. It's like people don't understand what that means. Like you're using the same word twice. It's like no, well you got to keep going and keeping going. It's like you have to keep going.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I tell people.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I know that's going to hit some hearts for sure. And I appreciate your time today, Alessandro. And
I have fun.
Oh, good. I'm so happy. And thank you for your service, and thank you for your family service as well.
No problem. Yeah, we do it. We do it. We're happy to do it, and we don't do it for the fame. We do it because we like doing it. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a way of life, right?
it's a way of life. Yeah, it's a life that's not for everybody, but whoever's in it, it's the family within the family that you make. So
Yes,
that's what makes it easier.
I agree. What an amazing conversation that was. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, your knowledge, and your skills with the Coaching the Brave community. We appreciate you so much. And for you listeners out there, if you enjoyed it and it really touched your heart and you thought of someone that it could benefit, share it with them. Thank you again for listening. I encourage you to review. Check out my website as well, YovanaChase.com, and find me on Instagram and Facebook at Yovana Chase Coaches. And I am here because I want to help you succeed. I want to help you be a more positive you. And right now I'm doing a promotion where you will get a one-on-one holistic fat loss program. You can get a free 15-minute call with me. So if you head on over to my IG, under my bio, you can find that Calendly link where you can go ahead and sign up for that. I'm excited to speak with you in person. Oh my gosh, through this Zoom virtual life here. So if you are interested or know someone who might be interested in losing 20 pounds in 90 days holistically, please share, sign up. And again, I cannot wait to talk with you next week. Have a wonderful week.